Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Game Form Survivor podcast. I am your host, Colin Connors. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Patrick Sullivan.
Howdy.
We are also joined by the colorful Alex Cash.
Hey.
And, of course, our casual reporter of amazingness, Stephen Lehman, is with us.
Hey, guys.
And for the first time ever on the podcast, we have the beautiful, amazing giant, Brian Nelson.
Hi.
So when we had quite an interesting episode tonight, we had an idol get played, we had Tony find a super idol, and it ultimately led to Jeremiah getting, he got voted out. And that's how this episode ended. But I want to go all the way to the very beginning of tonight, which had Jeffra talking with Trish, and Trish saying, "I still trust Tony," which was baffling. Patrick, give us some insight. Why would Trish still trust Tony? And more importantly, why the fuck did Cass still trust Tony after what just happened with LJ?
Because, like I've said every single time, these are not smart players. They're not good at this. The Tony's the only one thinking, obviously, clearly, and Spencer. But no one else. They just do things on emotion, and they don't care, and it's ridiculous. But it is making it very unpredictable, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well, Alex, what's your take on it? I mean, do you think we as viewers just haven't seen enough of the Tony-Trish relationship, or especially the Tony-Cass relationship? Because Cass freaks out over everything, and she didn't seem to mind the LJ thing.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're seeing enough of Cass's mental process, because she's very selective about what she freaks out about, and there's got to be some thought out there. She thinks, she just doesn't think straight.
And Stephen, what are your take on these events?
I don't get why any of them trust Tony, especially Jeffra after he blindsides her really only ally, and then Trish is like, well, he did what he had to do despite her love life going south. So, yeah, I don't get it either.
Okay, and Brian, what's your take on this?
I thought it was really interesting, actually, that Trish was talking about how they should still trust Tony, and then Tony gets out of that, he's like, well, Trish was saying that I'm, a good actor, so she was trying to, calm Jeffra down, and he just totally took it as, an affront. It was really strange. I was actually really impressed with Trish this episode, though. But whether or not she should trust Tony, I don't know. I think that she knows more than we do about what's going on, so I kind of just took it as, we don't know the full story.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tony was, very interesting this week. The first thing he did was he built another spy shack, and what I want to know is how nobody that went near that well was like, hey, why the fuck is there a little shack? Where did that come from?
That wasn't here before.
Yeah, how do you not notice that? And then another thing, is Tony's spy shack going to come forward in future seasons? Are we going to have other players do it? Anyone can answer this one.
Yes, but what I thought was weird was that it showed the cameraman directly. Did the cameraman have his own spy shack or what? Because it was showing directly towards him, and then it had another one where they could hear Jeffra and Trish, and there's just.
It's entirely possible that that if they noticed that camera, then they're just like, oh, they're doing the shots of the chameleons or the wildlife.
But that makes it even worse if they noticed the camera but didn't notice the man staring at them.
Well, Tony also did another spy shack back weeks ago, and I think they're still at the Apari Beach, so they may have used Tony's old spy shack, so he may have just relocated.
I think they're on.
I've heard of survivors in interviews and stuff talking about using the cameraman to their advantage. People like going looking for idols and stuff, and so I just don't know if Tony was like, cameraman, go away for a little while.
Go away, he's like,
shoo.
Try to play the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to spy check.
You're blowing up my spot over here.
So, another big thing that happened is that Wu is still alive.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
I was just really hoping a coconut or something would have hit Trish on the head, or
Wu can fallen on Trish.
Yeah.
Either way, my winner pick is still in this game, so all of you can go to hell.
I love Wu.
Yeah, that was like a 2 minute, or not even that, it was like a minute moments or whatever. That they previewed and like it was in the description of the episode and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was just like I fell. Oh, well.
It's just inconsequential. Maybe it's editing towards Wu's win, like a Fabio idiot edit type thing.
Maybe it was left in specifically so they could scare people in the previews.
Well, it's interesting to note about the previews because normally when someone finds an idol, they at least have in the preview, like, there's a hunt for the idol. This preview didn't have anything about Tony finding the idol, and he found the damn god idol.
As soon as the previous Leon said something about the god idol, though, you knew someone was going to find it.
True. So we did have a reward challenge, which was, of course, great, as all the other challenges have been this season. But one of the things I found most interesting was when Jeffra was with Jeremiah, Tasha, and Spencer, Jeremiah goes, "Hey, Jeffra, you want to be with us?" And Jeffra at first is like, I don't have an answer, which reminded me of LJ sticking up Tasha, which goes back to Patrick saying how bad everyone is on this. Brian, is everyone bad at this game?
No, I don't even understand what you're talking about. What is bad about what happened?
When Jeffra was asked about the 4-person alliance,
Uh-huh.
the first time she turned it down.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, well, I just have to think about it," which made me
Oh,
remind.
she was like, I need another wing, or I need another rib, or something.
Yeah, she needed another rib.
She
I mean, because that's a really uncomfortable thing to just straight up ask. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't think she did anything wrong. I thought that like her like getting wisdom from her mom was really cute, and then like completely going back on it as soon as she got to camp was really funny. But I don't know if she's. I mean, she's like a little girl. I don't know. I can't judge her for not sticking to what she said.
But that's what we do here, Brian. We judge them. So judge.
Well, gosh, I don't know. I think Jeffra's doing okay. I think I don't think she's anybody's main target. I think I mean, for now she's good. If she makes it to the end, she's got a good like jury case. I think like people don't seem to dislike her. She seems really very genuinely nice. Do I think she will win? I don't know, but I think she could.
Maybe against Cast and Trish. That would be her only option, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
And she might be able to beat Tony. Maybe.
I think she could beat Tony.
Well, but Spencer did that thing today, though, where he goes, "Everyone will vote for Tony if he gets to the end."
That's not true, though.
They did it with Tyson, and it was true.
They did it so that, I mean, okay, so that's something that really frustrates me about, like, everything. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about other shows, but, like, on Big Brother Canada this week, someone was like, "We're only going to vote for this person if they make it to the end." And it's like, well, if you're going to say that, that person's going to be a bigger target. And so if you're going to say, like, I mean, if you're going to say the opposite, it's so obvious that you're just saying it to, like, make people target that person and that you're not actually meaning it. I mean, maybe they do mean it because it would be impressive if they made it at the end, but if I was on the show and if I said something like that, that would just be me trying to sway people's minds. It wouldn't be complete truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Well, you mentioned earlier being motivated by the letters home. Do people like that? I mean, we just had a season that was all about love and all that shit. Do people still like the letters home? Patrick, do you still like these family connections?
I guess. I mean, it's a part of the show, and it doesn't really add or take away to anything. But this time, I guess it made Jeffra want to flip. But then she wanted to flip back. I don't know. I didn't really follow her logic there, but...
Alex, do you like the love letter homes? And have the letter homes ever really inspired a gameplay? Like, I feel like oftentimes survivors say that they were moved by it, but I don't know. What do you think?
The letter homes.
The letters from home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I never really I think the most that a letter from home has influenced the goings on at a Survivor camp was when Jenna didn't get hers.
Oh.
But other than that, I think...
And that was like a video too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the videos from home.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Was that videos? I think that was letters.
No, I think, Steven, you're a Survivor fact checker, and also I want to hear your input on the letters from home. Have they truly inspired someone to win? I mean, Fabio says seeing his mom helped him win, when in reality I think he would have done just as well without seeing her, but that's just me being
a jerk.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, first of all, with Borneo, it is letters from home, or pardon me, videos from home. And Jenna never got hers because they never received a video from the family.
No, I'm talking about Jenna Maraska.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jenna Maraska.
Christy.
So no one gives letters to people named Jenna. Is that the running theme in Survivor?
Well, no, they eventually did give Jenna her letter once they put it up for auction again. But initially, Christy outbid Jenna for the letter. But for me, I like the letters from home. I'm a sucker for all that. Like, I start tearing up when they have the actual family visits. So the letters from home are a nice little touch.
And I do want to
thing I thought about the letters from home is that I thought it was unusual that they waited this long to have just the letters. In recent seasons, they've had letters be like, because they're typically done now as like an extra on top of a trip reward. Mm-hmm. But in a lot of recent seasons, they were before the merge, which gave a lot of time in between the letters and the visits. Now, if they do the visits, it's going to be like, well, a bunch of them already just had letters.
Well, I'm thinking there might not be a visit simply because we had Blood versus Water last season.
That doesn't make any sense. I understand why they wouldn't have a loved ones visit in, Blood versus Water because their loved ones were already there. But I think the only other time we have not had a loved ones visit was Fiji because of some political unrest or something.
Yeah.
And also Samoa because who knows?
Because Russell Hantz had to, I don't know. I'm just going to. Yeah.
Anyways, Alicia Garza, the Latina flavor, has decided to grace her with their presence. Alicia, what are your thoughts on the love letter, or the letters from home and the loved one's visit? Are you there?
Uh-oh. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm here. There hasn't been a loved one's visit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think letters from home are an important part of any kind of competition show, whether it be Survivor or Big Brother. Because it further humanizes the contestants, and so you grow attached to them and their life stories, rather than just like seeing them as your weekly entertainment.
So, do you want to see a family visit this season, though? Even though we just had the letters?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the letters are okay, but we only heard a little tiny piece of Jeffra's, and so that doesn't really. I don't know. That doesn't really do it for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The visits always bring such entertainment and joy, whether it's from you seeing Taj overcome with joy at her husband coming out, or you see Johnny inventing this crazy grandmother dead story so that he can get the best possible visit. So they always bring something to the table.
So I'm just an asshole for being like, I don't care if there's one this season. This season's good enough. We don't need it.
I watched this episode with my parents, and it was really funny because when they brought out the letters, my dad was like, ugh, and my mom was like, oh! It was so cute to see the stark difference. Like, my mom had to get tissues, and it was so adorable.
My dad was not very concerned. He just said, Stephen, if you go on, I'm probably not going to write you a letter because I'll forget about it. So,
at least he's honest.
He was honest, which I appreciated.
Yeah. So, after the letters, we had Tasha winning immunity, which, Stephen, I know that makes you happy.
Yes, it does.
Alicia, as a woman, what is your thoughts on another woman winning immunity?
Well, first of all, my thoughts go out to LJ. Because I know y'all did not mourn him enough last podcast because I wasn't there and did not bring the proper amount of mourn due to him.
That's true. That's for all you listeners out there, LJ was Alicia's pick to win, and we all kind of thought LJ had a really good shot. And Alicia was in love with LJ, to put it mildly, and she was planning on marrying him and getting his $1 million. And now that he has fallen, she is wearing black and mourning.
I took a shot for you.
I actually am. I'm wearing a black dress right now. I think Tasha. I was actually surprised that Tasha won again. She looked so strong and, I guess, statuesque at the end of this challenge. And I realized that I've really counted her out as a challenge competitor. And she, as I'm now thinking back on the season, has really brought it. And, and so I'm very impressed with her, and I'm proud of her for winning, especially twice in a row, when she wasn't cocky about giving the necklace back to Jeff like so many of them are, and she just quietly put it right back on her neck.
And then got it again.
So can we blame Jatia for the every failure on the Brains Tribe? It was not Spencer and Tasha.
I mean, did you see Jatia with that flagpole? Come on.
Yeah.
I know she had a bandana on her eyes, but come on.
It's just a
I still
flag.
have nightmares.
So with Tasha, Spencer, and Wu all being these immunity threats, are people going to maybe look at Tasha differently and say, let's vote her out because of her immunity? Or do you think she's going to continue to be able to hide behind Wu and Spencer? That's my thinking. Brian, what do you think as someone who's used to winning immunity?
I don't even know. I think that they're going to continue looking at Spencer until he's gone. I think she definitely has until that point to hide behind.
Even if she wins all the other immunities.
Well, if she wins all the other immunities,
Well, I mean, all of them
don't
but
worry
one.
about it. Well, I mean, I guess if she goes on some crazy streak, then yeah, they'll be definitely looking at her, especially because at that point she will be the only one left of her alliance. So, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think until she has another week of safety unless Spencer wins. But you're right. Two wins in a row might put her on a radar, but like I don't know if people would be willing to be like admit that they're worried about her. Like I don't know if Tony would be like, oh, she's such a threat, but because I don't know.
Well, Spencer's been right with her at the very end in a lot of
Yeah.
things too. So,
So, yeah, Patrick, and we also had Cass, your pick to win, though, in her secret scene last week, say, if Tasha makes it to the end, she'll win. And that seems to be a common sentiment around camp. So I think Tasha is on people's radars.
yeah, of course. I mean, she's in the Minority Alliance, and there's only 2 of them left. So it's either they're gonna get
I
picked
think at this
off.
point, everyone is on everyone's
Yeah,
radars.
there's not
Yeah.
enough people left. Either they're gonna get picked off, or Tony's gonna get really paranoid.
Chris and Wu, whose radars are they on?
Wu is on people.
Well, clearly Wu was on the
Yeah,
minority
okay.
radar.
That doesn't count, though, because they
I
just
think
threw
you're
the
right
votes.
though that Trish. I think you're right that Trish is pretty safe at this point.
Trish is like almost a guaranteed lock final
Yeah,
3
I
in my
I
eyes.
don't see a scenario in which Trish doesn't make Final 3 unless, like, Tony gets blindsided and then she goes batshit crazy. That's the only way. Tony's going to take her to the end, and anyone else would want to take her to the end. Alex, what's your thought on that? Do you agree that Trish is basically a lock for Final 3?
Trish
Well, I would say that she is definitely she is my Monica / Dawn position right now because I think that she should have a shot at winning, but she won't because everybody else doesn't appreciate her.
I agree
Aw.
100%.
But she's a neat lady.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she's a neat lady.
Brian, you were saying?
I'm really impressed by Trish. Like every week, I'm like a little bit more and more impressed by her. Like I was super impressed when she got cast to Flip, and this week when she like brought Jeffra back into the fold, and then when she was talking about how she had to like take the brunt of it for Jeffra to see, like with the Tony thing. I thought it was. I mean, I'm very impressed with her gameplay. You're right though, Alex. I don't think she's going to get any credit for it at the end, unfortunately.
Anyways, I do have something to tell you guys, and I've been kind of keeping it a secret for a really long time, but I'm actually a fashion model.
I thought you were coming out of
What
the
is
closet.
with this season and people like reveal what they do for a living as though it's this giant
I know.
deal?
Well, Spencer did.
I'm amazed that Jeremiah thought that was like a big deal, but I'm even more amazed by Spencer's response being like, "Hey, I have an idol." Like,
I thought- I
those
swear to
things
God, I thought
blew
that
me away. Go ahead, Brian.
I'm sorry. I said I thought that I thought for sure Spencer would be like, yeah, I'm also a male model. Or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought he would mention something about his like chess
career.
prowess or something.
So, is anyone sad that we lost Jeremiah? Tonight.
Oh.
I'm sad in the fact that he was a number for Tasha and Spencer, but I'm not sad to see him as a character go.
I'm sad to see him go because he's a male model. It's
I
nice
just
to look at.
wasn't entertained
He was-
by him.
He was better than Jay.
Why did Spencer even tell him he had the idol? Like, did he just not want to blindside his alliance when he played it that tonight or at Tribal Council?
Yeah.
Well,
Is that?
I think that's what he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
also, I mean, it's 3 of them against 5. I mean, they may as well. I mean, so.
And then Tosh had immunity. What would Jeremiah have done? Like, oh, Spencer's got an idol, so you should vote for me instead. Like, you can't really leverage that against him. So
Yeah. And was anyone thinking that Spencer might play it on Jeremiah? Because I figured he wouldn't, because he seems kind of a dick. And honestly, that's the smart thing to do in that situation when there's only 2 people, is to play it on yourself, unless you know 100%.
well, I thought based on the editing when they Didn't someone say they thought Spencer had an idol, and that was what
Yeah,
they were
Cass did.
Yeah.
Casted,
Yeah. And like they were going to base it on who they thought that had the idol. So I thought, okay, then they're going to vote Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of showing that he would give it to him. So I kind of thought for a second that he would.
I thought that Jeremiah suddenly coming forth with information, it's like, oh, that's the thing where the focus is suddenly on him for all of a sudden, where the focus has not been on him, therefore he's going.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair assessment.
Yep.
Now, before we wrap things up, I do want to talk a little bit about next week and Tony's Invincible Idol. I kind of feel like Tony's got this in the bag. I mean, this season's been crazy, but does someone want to throw some scenarios at me in which Tony does not make it to the end? Just throw them at me.
They turn on Tony next episode. He uses his thing, and then they vote him out the next episode.
But is that likely to happen, though?
Well, they could split between him and Wu, and then on the I don't know.
They're not going to be expecting another idol. Well, I guess Tony knew that there
Final
was one.
7?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Tony has the idol, which basically means he gets a free pass to Final 5 right now.
Unfortunately.
If next week he gets... Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
that's-
If Cass is still in the mix, anything can happen.
Okay, so I'm not the only
Cass has, but Cass has proven that she was willing to stay with that alliance. Because I mean, I feel like this would have been the time to flip for her.
Well, we could also have said the same for Jeffra, but she didn't do it. So
But no, Cass, she is unpredictable. She'll flip
She's-
wherever
hashtag chaos
Yes.
Cass.
her heart is.
So who is going to be voted out next week? I'm going to quickly ask everyone. You just give me a name. Patrick, who's being voted out?
Spencer.
Alex.
I say it's Jeffra because she's the last beauty and everybody's jealous.
Okay, Steven.
Colin, don't hate me, but Wu.
No, he's fucking not. Brian.
I have to go with Spencer as well.
Alicia.
I don't even know. There. LJ is gone. I have to fight for it.
It's just like, I don't even want a podcast. I don't want to... This never happened. Like, you're going to leave the Survivor community, just like never.
Elisa, it's because you weren't here last week that he
Yeah.
It
went
was so wrong. I cannot.
Oh my god. Wait, maybe you were his good luck charm, Alicia.
Spencer, I believe, is going next week. He's been edited as a strong character, and the pattern seems to be big move, or big character, dull character, big character, dull character, and I based that completely off of not looking at any boot list. But we do have...
There aren't any, are there? Sorry.
I know, I mean like the boot list of the season. Because I mean, because when it first happened with Sarah being voted out, like that was a big move, and then Morgan being voted out, that was kind of lame. Then LJ was a big move.
Gotcha.
And then Jeremiah is kind of lame, and then Spencer's a big character, so to me that makes sense. Anyway, Steven, give us the casual report. Just a couple best things casuals have said tonight.
All right. So we have one comment regarding Tony. Oh, how convenient that he finds that exactly when he needs it. If I wasn't convinced it was rigged before. And then one more comment that I thought was great was, I think I saw Tony hiding in my backyard.
That's casual. I like that casual.
And then one more that kind of bothers me. If Tony goes home tonight, it's because of the huge threat he is, which would be a compliment to him. Even LJ admitted it last week with Parvati, that Tony made a great move by voting him out. And this is, by the way, the same guy who referenced Monica. Monica Culpepper said it last season. Survivor is do unto others before they do unto you. They don't call it Survivor in air quotes for nothing. And that's exactly what Tony did. So he's basically saying Tony's great and Monica Culpepper is a guru.
Well, Tony, I think, very much could win this game, as much as to the dismay of you, Stephen, and the other anti-Tony people, because, I mean, someone fucking has to, and anytime someone seems logically plausible to win, they get voted out. So maybe it's the person who's not plausible to win if it's not Wu. So I do want to turn to Alex real quick, who's going to give us some quick power rankings.
Okay, at the bottom, Cass, because fuck her.
Whatever, haters are gonna hate.
Yeah. So yeah, no, she doesn't have any chance, I'd say. Spencer's comment sealed that. Jeffra, after that, just because I don't think that she has what it takes to be the Natalie to Tony's Russell, and I just don't see her being with it.
Okay.
After that, I would have to say, even though I think he's a lock for the final 3 or 2 or whatever, he is going to make it far, but I can't see Tony winning. I think he's getting I think he's just getting too much attention, and I think that his downfall has to come some way, sometime. Maybe not soon.
Okay.
But I don't think one can sustain a target on one's back that long. Trish after that, because I do think she's playing a decent strategic game. She just is not going to be able to speak in a way that convinces jury members that she had her shit together the whole time. After that, Woo. Just because I think that Woo. Yeah. Exactly. He is the Woo Meister, and he has the likability factor to squeak past Tony if the two of them manage to make it to the finals. Although they are on the bottom in terms of actual strategic placement right now, I would still say that Tasha, and I'd have Tasha and then Spencer as number 2 and number 1, just because they are the people who are thinking, and they are the people who are thinking straight. Tony is thinking, Betty is not thinking straight, and everybody else is confused.
Okay. Oh, and I did forget, Brian, you do have to pick a winner, and if you pick the person who wins, you can get one of 3 things. Ooh. If the person you pick is from the beauty tribe and they win, you will receive Bure nose strips, which is used to get all those blackheads off your nose. I use them, Alicia used them, and we're both beautiful because of it. If you pick a Brain and that person wins, you will receive a slightly used copy of Brain Age 2 for the Nintendo DS. Oh. And if you pick a Brawn and they win, you will receive a Nerf football that's already been opened. However, most of the people have already been taken, but we're going to let you figure that out for yourself. Who is your first pick to win?
Yes!
Already been taken.
Trish?
Trish has not been taken. Okay, Brian Nelson has said...
Wait, I don't want a football. What? Can I change again?
Yeah.
Sagar took Trish 2 weeks ago, apparently.
Oh, yeah, Sagar did take Trish. I might need to update it. So, okay, Brian, change.
Is there anybody else but Tony left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one person besides Tony.
Tasha?
There?
No, it's not Tasha.
Oh.
Is it Jeffra?
Yeah, it's Jeffra Tony.
And Tony was my backup pick when Bryce got eliminated.
You still lost, Alex. You lost in this fucking second episode, so you don't get a chance to speak.
I know.
Yeah, I'm glad that my pre-show hopeful winner wound up not being my official winner.
Yeah. So Brian, who is it, Jeffra or Tony?
I really don't want the football. I really. Okay, I'll go with Tony.
Okay, Brian has picked Tony. So if Jeffra gets voted out next week, it will be an amazing, fun adventure for all of us as we compete. And Jack, did I hear you back there? Hi, Jack.
Hi.
All right, and I want to thank everyone for listening, and I would like to thank all the panelists for being a part of tonight's discussion. Good night.
Thanks for having me.
I have a comment.
Okay, what's your comment?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I noticed that they haven't done any like step off for food reward challenges yet, and I'm
coconut chops.
Gotten a lot of food. That's why.
What?
They've been feeding them a lot this season.
Oh, really?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just
Outback Steakhouse.
They don't necessarily have one of those every time.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I was thinking back and remembering that I feel like usually that kind of stuff happens where you sit out and eat instead of playing, or you can stop and I guess eat instead of competing, is when there's a really large, obvious alliance that isn't going to break anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that hasn't really been going on this season, so I thought maybe that was the reason why, but I wasn't sure.
Maybe. I mean, we get to see an auction next week, and I know we're all hyped up about that.
Yay!
Survivor.
Yes.
What I have to say is, woo!